Hello, it's been a while since I did one of these crypto uncovered videos, but here we are. It's that time of year and things are shaping up to be quite incredible in 2023. And this is also a story of 2023. So again, as I always say, seatbelts on, this will be a bumpy one. And the title itself is a play on words. We're going to analyze the top token unlocks of 2023 and explain what that means. And that might sound positive, but wait, there's more to this story. And there are thousands and thousands of numbers that we crunched for this story to make it possible, so you don't have to. And of course, this is edutainment, and this story was inspired by the CryptoSlate article that came out today. It was a well-researched piece. The data points out things like December 2022 ended with about 102 billion worth of tokens remaining locked and 570.8 billion fully diluted value and a 468.7 billion of market cap. Now, dividing the market cap by FDV, fully diluted value, the report concludes that 82.1% of all tokens with fixed supply are already in free circulation in the market, which is good. But 15 projects with the most considerable estimated locked value have huge unlocks coming that account for more than 75% of the total illiquid tokens. Okay, tons of numbers here today. No numbers yesterday, so it's good to take a break from the numbers. But hey, we're going to dig into what all this means and how it could affect you in 2023. So, quick summary, why token unlocks are bad for everybody. It might sound obvious to some, but some people still aren't aware. Crypto unlocks are bad for investors because they can significantly increase the supply of a particular cryptocurrency, which can lead to a decrease in its value. I'll show you how that works. Additionally, unlocks may signal that a company or a project is not as successful as it appeared, and which can also negatively impact the value of the associated cryptocurrency. It's also important as well for investors like you guys out there to do their research and carefully consider the potential effects of any unlocks before investing in cryptocurrency. So let's, again, first sheet of numbers, here we go. So all of this data that I'm going to show today is from CoinMarketCap and it's verified with Masari, and the unlock data comes from the CryptoSlate article. Okay, I'm just presenting the data after crunching the numbers. And a lot of the numbers actually came from our new DAPT, the Digital Asset Portfolio Tracker. Shout out to DJ, who helped build all these cool metrics for us. And a lot of what I used actually was buried in here. And this is available on Patreon. And thank you to all the Patreon members. From the first, when I started Patreon, Feb 2021, it sold out in 20 weeks. But due to the bear market, we had 5% attrition. So we'll see. But anyway, I want to thank everybody. This model is available there if anybody wants to come in. Now, that's a quick warning for everybody as well. I'm going to blow this up so you all see. For those who are sensitive to numbers and data, or if their token is caught up in here, step aside. You may not want to see what's coming, okay? And again, I'm just presenting numbers and math and data. It's love. So don't shoot the messenger. That'd be me. Let's go. First of all, this is from the article Token Unlocks, and you can see the 2023 token unlock value. Number one on the list is 17.9 billion is XRP. Number two, Filecoin, 4.9 billion. Number three is Optimism, 3.7 billion. Number four, Chainlink, 2.9 billion. 5, BitDAO, 2.5 billion. 8coin, 2.3. Massive. STEPN, 1.4 billion. And a lot of people, Hedera, 1 billion. Axie, $1 billion, DYDX, ENS, etc., Kadena, CurveDAO, PancakeSwap, GALA. These are all names you hear about all the time on YouTube. But we're going to crunch down exactly what these unlocks mean in terms of price suppression, token inflation, all that type of stuff. And it's very, very important to know. So first of all, one of the things I wanted to try and find if there was a correlation, is there a correlation between, say, token inflation, dumpage, insider holdings, etc., and token performance? Wait till the very end and you'll see if there is. But these are the 30-day gainers, and I added some benchmarks as well to this list so you can see how different tokens compare. So the benchmarks I added to all these numbers, not just the numbers from CryptoSlate, but the tokens, Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana are included there as well. And I always say that 98% of crypto is a scam, and just got to be watch for that. And 2023 has been absolutely bonkers so far, being wonderful. We've got Bitcoin trading now at about 23,300. Broke through that 23K level. Next stop, maybe, some people say 24 or 25K. If we get beyond 25K, then many people believe the bull run is on. But what's interesting is these names here. If you haven't made over 45% so far in 2023, your token is underperforming, because that's how much the big names have gone up. So we will get back to this later, but you can see the top performers of the year so far in green and the bottom ones in red. If a token is not moving or even going negative after what the crypto market has done in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, think about that. That could be a problem. And remember, hope is not a strategy. The other thing I want to draw your attention to is, I say no vol, no fun. No mun, no fun. Volume is key to focus on. Now, if you look at the volume, the trading volume for an asset like cryptocurrency, even stocks, refers to the number of shares or tokens that have been traded within a certain period of time. I look at 24-hour volume for this analysis, and high trading volume can indicate strong investor interest and liquidity in the asset. Low trading volume may indicate the complete opposite. So always, always, always look at your volume. Now, I created a volume ratio here, and that is on the right-hand side of this chart is the trading volume as a percentage of circulating supply. You've got names. The top traded asset right now is Illuvium, which is impressive. It's trading at 255% every day of its existing circulating supply, which is pretty impressive. Number 2, Solana. Number 3, Avalanche, 43%. But you can see even the delta between Avalanche and Solana, it is, 5, 6x, which is a big difference. Now, if you start going down the list and you look at assets that simply aren't traded at all, you got Star Atlas, Rally, Sovereign, Oxygen, Rev, Guild of the Guardians, Boba, GuildFi, Hedera, Hashgraph. These things aren't traded. XRP, Gods Unchained, whatever that is, Cartesi, Algorand. When stuff is not traded, it is a bad sign. And I like to always have that threshold. The minimum the asset has to have a trading volume is do not touch anything under 1%. That for me is the kiss of death. So according to this analysis, if you just look at this list here, you wouldn't want to touch anything under 1 inch. All right. So again, pause the screen, watch, look, analyze these numbers. Now, let's talk about the unlock. Now, what I did was I took the unlocked numbers from CryptoSlate and converted it into tokens and turned that into a dollar value. You'll find out in a minute why I did that. So if you look at the top token with what you have here is the $1 billion of unlock, which is 1.4 billion for STEPN. And the token unlock is the price of STEPN divided by the actual dollar value. You get the total token supply, and you have that as a percentage of the total supply that exists. So STEPN here, everybody, that is 1,100% of the existing supply. You want to be very careful. Optimism, 685% of the existing supply will be unlocked in 2023. Number 3, DYDX, 376% of the existing supply. Kadena, nearly 300% of the existing supply will be unlocked. This is crazy. ENS, 260. Filecoin, 263, exactly the same as ENS, coincidentally. And then BitDAO, etc., GALA, PancakeSwap, Axie, XRP, 85% of existing supply. Remember, XRP has been trading for 8 or 9 years at this stage. Curve, 82%. Chainlink, 81%. Watch out. That explains why Chainlink has sucked so far this year. HBAR. And by the way, I'll talk about the correlation between dumpage, selling pressure, and performance in a minute towards the end as well. And you got ApeCoin as well. And again, a lot of names you hear out there from people on the internet. So again, this would be, as I'd call, a hit list, not a buy list. Let's talk about a new ratio as well I put together. I call it the IA sell pressure rankings. And what I did was I calculated sell pressure by the total unlock divided by the daily volume over a 24-hour period. If you look at BitDAO, is 26,000% of the daily volume. How, I'm going to zoom out here for a second. How can retail absorb that type of volume? It's ridiculous. And that's why many of these tokens are heavily pumped, because they need retail to take on all that pressure. So let's go down this list here. BitDAO, 26,000%. Hedera Hashcraft, 22,346%. XRP, nearly 21,000%. Kadena, 3,400%. GALA Games, nearly 2,000%. PancakeSwap, nearly 2,000%. I mean, these are just ridiculous numbers. DYDX, 1,000%. STEPN, 805%. We saw how big the unlock was there as well. Chainlink, ENS, Filecoin, Axie, ApeCoin, Optimism, all there on the hit list. In fact, ENS has one of the lowest sell pressure ratios because it is actually being actively traded out there. Now let's look at the percentage allocated to founders, another very important factor. We've got to go back in time and find out what was the initial allocation made to the original founders of the crypto. And this is what I call lining the pockets, where the insiders, the founders, etc. line their pockets. Now, I did add Ethereum and Solana, to be fair, to show how they all compare. And these two tokens, Ethereum and Solana, I hold both. They are not perfect, but look at some of these others. XRP, 99.8% initially allocated to organization or founders. That is stunning. Guild of the Guardians, 92%. You know, you're going to see a lot of these game tokens, metaverse type tokens as well in here. Hedera, 80.13%. By the way, I did a should I buy on Hedera Hashgraph, and the army was after you forever, and they'll probably still be after me after this as well. Anyhow, that's just numbers. Here you go. Super Rare, 65. Cartesi, 57. Illuvium, 50%, but the Illuvium volume is high. Flow, Sandbox, Orion, Akala, Algorand, Sovereign, DYDX, Boba, Avalanche, Axie. And if you look at Avalanche, 19.3%. Not bad compared to others. Solana is 25%, the exact same as Algorand, which is the exact same as Sovereign. So again, not critically terrible. And then you have some of the other games like Yield Guild Games is 15.4%, GuildFi. So again, you've got to look at all of these different factors and create a composite score, which we'll do at the end as well. Let's talk about inflation. And if you know this channel, you know I'm obsessed with inflation because I don't like debasement. That could be the dilution of a stock, more issuance of a stock. We saw that happening with a lot of the miners. They were issuing stock in 2022 just to pay the bills. They weren't maybe necessarily selling their Bitcoin stash, but they were selling stock, which means if there's 100 shares and a year later there's 200 shares and your original price of your asset was $1, it will come down in price, unless, of course, the demand beats it. And this is why it's so important to look at inflation. Now, I've always been obsessed with it, as I mentioned, but here, look at this. I never even heard of REV, R-E-V-V, ticker, 565% inflation. Wow, crazy. DYDX, 247%. Akala, 168%. GuildFi, I mean, these numbers are just crazy. Hedera's in there, 24%. And a lot of other names you're familiar with. I also, Algorand, 22.87%. XRP, 22.35%, despite being around for 8 years. Continuous sell pressure year in, year out. That's why it's so far off the all-time highs from years and years ago. Avalanche, 22%. Near Protocol, 19.35%. And I put in Bitcoin and Solana in there as well. Solana's 5.65%. Bitcoin, 1.74%. And you may ask, why is Ethereum not there? Well, it's deflationary now, so it's negative, so it didn't make the cut. Which is very powerful, especially when you look at all the adoption of Ethereum and all the layer 2s and the huge demand for the token. That's why it's my second biggest position. So good for Ethereum. Let's talk about an example of continual inflation over time. I did a video, I'll put it here as well, in December 2021. Kadena, I saw a lot of people were pumping Kadena like crazy, and I dug into it and I couldn't believe the numbers behind it. But this is the inflation, the emissions, as they call them, the total emissions, just over time. It's just continual selling pressure. So just be careful out there, because unless the demand is extreme, it's extremely difficult to beat 2 million tokens hitting the market every single month. And we saw above the Kadena numbers too. Now, it was a lot of numbers that took, I can't think how many hours to put together, 14 hours, but it all results in this little composite score. So who is the worst offender? based on what I call dumpage, which is a combination of insider distribution, token unlocks, inflation, all the other stuff we just covered. And I created a composite score across those 8 different charts. And here is the result. The worst offender of all of these names is the XRP token. I won't share the composite score right now, but it is there. It's just hidden. Number 2, Hedera Hashgraph. Number 3, GALA Games. Number 4, BitDAO. And number 5, Kadena. Remember, these are the top names that are pulled from the CryptoSlate list. There are tokens that are probably as bad. Well, probably not as bad as some of these, but they're quite extreme. And going down the list, beyond Kadena, Steppen, number 6, DYDX 7, PancakeSwap 8, Curve 9, ENS 10, Filecoin 11, can't believe Filecoin's still around, Chainlink 12, Axie 13, ApeCoin 14, and Optimism 15. And just for reference, everybody, Optimism is green and it looks good, but it's not. It's in this crew of 15. But compared to the 15, it's the least worst. So think about that, everybody. And final conclusion. I was thinking at the beginning, is there correlation between what I call dumpage and token performance? And you can see here, and this is all the tokens we analyzed here, and there was about 50 of them, including throwing some in there. The lower the dumpage, the higher the returns. I added a red line to this chart where you can see the tolerant level of inflation, kind of under 15%. And you can see all the tokens that do well over time have very low dumpage. And that's it. The tokens that have high dumpage do not do well. And anything basically under 50% return so far this year, you're not doing well. You're underperforming the market. So even if you're making 5% in 3 weeks, compared to what the market has done, you're going nowhere fast. Sorry to be the deliverer of bad news, but these are just numbers. And finally, everybody, please, 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 please take the time before you drop a penny. Do your own research. Analyze these numbers. I share everything I do. You have it all. You have a starting point. You know what to look for. You know where to go. Coin market cap. Pull down a spreadsheet. Go to Masari. It's all there. Okay. Don't listen to Twitter. Don't listen to YouTube. Hope you like the content. Thanks to the mods in chat. Happy Saturday morning. Sorry for all the numbers. But take care, everybody. Thank you all for being here.